Hello and welcome. This soft-spoken, highly educated international banker found himself in the thick of his country's tangled politics when a general took over in a bloodless military coup. He went on to become a major financial reformer and popular political figurehead. This week on One on One, meet the former Pakistani Prime Minister, Shaukat Aziz. The Karachi-born international banker made a name for himself as a senior member of the Citibank team before being drawn into his country's politics in 1999 by General Pervez Musharraf, who took over in a bloodless coup. Aziz was appointed finance minister and charged with tackling Pakistan's disastrous economy, burdened with a lack of public trust after years of social upheaval. Known for his pragmatic and practical approach to issues, Shaukat Aziz was named Prime Minister by the Pakistan Muslim League in 2004. And it was while campaigning for the role he survived an assassination attempt by a suicide bomber. He served until the end of 2007, presiding over an unprecedented economic boom, after which differences with his political party made him return to the private sector. Shaukat Aziz, great to talk with you.
Pleasure.
Now, I've seen you described as someone who is not a politician but a technocrat. Now, is that an insult considering what you achieved politically?
No, I think it's a compliment. We are all different, and I think what matters is what the end results are. So in my case, with a background which was not in politics, as you know, I spent 30 years in financial services. And then when President Musharraf came in, he telephoned me to come and help restore the economy. I never knew him, I had never met him. But I thought it was time for payback to your motherland, to your country, Pakistan. So I went at great personal sacrifice and left my career, joined the government, and stayed as finance minister for 4.5 years. And then was persuaded by many to participate in the elections, which I did. And for 3.5 years, I was the prime minister. And our government had the privilege of being the first government to complete its term ever in the 60-year history of Pakistan. So we went into this job knowing it would be very challenging. I had no political background, as you noted, but of course in financial services I had lots of experience. But I think at the end of the day, it's the values which you carry with you. Coming from the middle class, not a feudal background or not being represented by any large family grouping. You have a different approach to issues, but at the end of the day, people are all looking for results. People want to... I had tremendous motivation working 24/7. For 8 years, I didn't take one day off.
I will ask you about that.
And that really, drive caused other people also to get motivated, and we achieved a lot.
You left quietly, so to speak. Do you miss the world of politics?
No, I completed my term, and it was agreed that I would not contest the elections. And I think that was a good decision, because now we were going in from a hybrid arrangement where the military and the civilian structure were working together to a pure political structure. And Pakistan has quite a repertoire of political figures who have governed in the past. So we thought, depending on the election results, whoever wins the election ought to have the right to govern. So I left in peace. I'm a man who's at peace with myself. And I think when you work for national interest, with dedication, with no personal interest in mind, you know, we don't have any of the trappings which come with a position of responsibility, in the sense of we have modest background, we have a house in Pakistan, we don't have large factories or land holdings or whatever, and we are proud of that, because we made it and survived in a world which is very competitive, which is Wall Street.
Would you consider going back into politics at any stage?
At the moment, I have no intention, because I think I've done my 8 years of service to my country. And I think we made a big difference. The world has acknowledged it, history will acknowledge it. And now we hope that other people build on it. The new government builds on it and does even better. Because as a Pakistani, the best thing I would like is peace, progress and prosperity in Pakistan. Pakistan faces a lot of challenges, and we all have to work together. We have to be cooperative and collaborative because it's our country. Just because we are not in government, it doesn't mean we start criticizing everything. In fact, we should support what is being done and try to build a stronger Pakistan.
All the time I've known you, you've had a pretty comfortable relationship with the key players that have been ruling Pakistan for a while.
Yeah.
The late Benazir Bhutto, Nawaz Sharif,
sure.
General Musharraf, as you say,
Sure.
who brought you in. What is it about you that gives you that flexibility to be able to work with all these political parties?
Well, I think I knew all of them over the years. Obviously, once you become Prime Minister, etc., there's a level of discomfort in relationships. But at the end of the day, I had no agenda which was personal. If I met them, if I talked to them, it was strictly to give them feedback and advice on what should be done. Because when you are in power, as I have myself experienced now, you get insulated and you get surrounded by a certain structure which then influences your thinking. Mm-hmm. And the successful leader, the successful politician is one who can break through it.
A complex question then, to which I'm looking for a very simple nutshell answer, is looking at brand Pakistan.
Yeah.
Why is it so fundamentally flawed in people's eyes? What is the basic problem with Pakistan?
Partly because of the location we've had. And since 9/11 and the whole situation with Afghanistan, Pakistan is very much in the news. And unfortunately, being very much in the news is not all positive. Bad news travels fast, good news travels slower. This is typical in the world. So because of our proximity to Afghanistan and the presence of foreign troops there, there has been generated in the region a pretty solid feeling that our sovereignty and our integrity is at stake. Now, we are a neighbor of Afghanistan with 1,400 miles of border. We want Afghanistan to be successful, peaceful, and prosperous. Any country, if their neighbors are strong, you benefit. There's osmosis, there's a rub-off effect which is positive. However, if the neighborhood is unsettled, then we all suffer. Plus, ethnically, the people on our side of the border are the same as the other side. So they have links, they are divided families. And the people in the Northwest Frontier Province and the tribal area cannot divorce themselves from what's happening across. So those links and trade links, family links, all are there. Now, as a result of what is happening in Afghanistan and the world's desire to ensure peace there, which we support, clearly there are many forces at play. And these forces do not want stability in the region. So that then creates, I often say, that Newton's third law of motion is in practice, as amended. Now, Newton's third law of motion, as you remember from high school physics, is the apple fell from the tree. Sir Isaac Newton saw it, and he said every action has an equal and opposite reaction. In this case, every action has an irrational and disproportionate reaction. So people react, people, some of the, it's all perceptions. For example, there are foreign troops in Afghanistan. And we were part of the coalition and we want peace to be there and we are opposed to terrorism in every form. Now, if you talk to the local people there in Afghanistan, they may, and I've talked to many, and I think this is largely correct, they may perceive these forces as occupation forces. Whereas the countries sending the troops view these troops to be peacekeeping forces. Also, no country should allow and can allow that their country is used as a base for harming another country. That is not civil, that is not proper, and that should never be allowed. So we have a situation here where the presence of foreign troops, the tension between various stakeholders creates events, terrorist events, which then get a lot of publicity. When they get publicity, Pakistan's brand is directly impacted, whether the incidents are in Pakistan or even next door in Afghanistan. So to build the brand, we need peace. And I think when you fight terrorism, you have a security aspect or a military aspect, but the more important aspect is the hearts and minds aspect. There we collectively as the world are failing. We must do more. We must give them a hope for the future. We must show that tomorrow will be better than yesterday. And that'll get people to say, why are we killing ourselves? Why should somebody on the street be killed, innocent person, poor person, who's working for his family? He or she is the breadwinner. And if they go away, the whole family then suffers. So that has to be drilled in, that has to be explained. And may I say, this has nothing to do with faith or religion. Islam is a faith. In that region, Islam is the major faith, which propagates peace, harmony, and tolerance. And it abhors violence and hurting innocent people. So we have to make that message known to our younger people who do not understand or do not appreciate the true values which our faith provides. So a lot of work has to be done, and all that then builds the brand. Back to your question, the brand is a very holistic concept, and to build the brand you have to have security, you have to have good economy, you have to have good governance, you have to have peace and tranquility. The investor comes when they feel secure and they feel they'll make returns. If not, why should they come?
Many more questions for you. I'm going to take a pause here. A short break and we're back with more one-on-one with Shaukat Aziz in just a moment. Don't go away.